Hi, this is Man of Serverboy UK. Today we want to talk about proxy, HTTP proxy to start with. Let's look at the screen here. I'm sure you all know what is a proxy server. It basically allows you to represent you, like you yourself is laptop. The proxy act on behalf of you to send your request forward to your target. Say in this case it's web server. So you are on HTTP and normally you access your web server from your laptop via your router firewall using HTTP protocol over TCP/IP. And sometimes you don't want your web server to know your router's IP, so you could use a proxy server to represent you to send HTTP traffic to the web server. Given that the web server will only see the IP from your proxy instead of yourself. There are other situations where the proxy could be on a location where the web server will allow the IP, but your web server might block your IP from your router. So either way, there are always situations you want your proxy to do traffic for you instead of directly from your laptop. So this is what we could do on Ubuntu. Let's go to let's go to the proxy server. Say I use my test server. In there I'm running tinyproxy. Is basically just one of the many proxy server. Just pick one easy, and you don't have to be very specific on the configuration. In our case, I use SSH tunnel. Why I want to use that is you could of course set up your tinyproxy to open up the port to talk to directly to the internet, so you could access your proxy from the real IP. But in this case, I want to be more secure. So what I'm doing is to have a SSH tunnel from my laptop to the proxy. So traffic are tunneled through to the proxy, and my web browser here on my laptop only sees local traffic. So the local proxy traffic goes through the tunnel to the remote proxy, and from there to the web server. So let's see how we could do it simple. The tinyproxy, I set it up to, let's see, to listen on port 8888, and obviously my IP tables here on this proxy host does not allow internet traffic to this port, so it's protected. So in order to access it from my browser, I need to dig a tunnel. So what it is doing is, again, using the super SSH, do a forward tunnel to the remote host. Now, of course, I leave it on like that. I could use a SSH without a shell, but doesn't matter in this case, just to show you how it's done. Now the tunnel is there. In a sense, it's saying that the local port is forward to the remote host at that local host also for port 8888. So essentially tunneling my local 8888 all the way to the remote same port number. You could use different port number, it's up to you, but in this case it's just the same. With that set up, how do I know it's working? What I could do is do a telnet localhost, which I almost always do. So there's a response, so it's talking to the remote now. Now what I am doing is, the next thing is to do set up Firefox. Okay, so in Firefox, set up proxy. Here you go. I got it set up just now for testing. So you put localhost, the port number, and forget about this. These are not the point here. You could set up socks, host, and so on. Other things are fine, but these are not the main need right now. So what I want to demonstrate is HTTP, so I set it up like that, and from this point on, when I browse say BBC, so it's there, the traffic is back, but how do I know it's using my proxy? So what I do to show you on the remote side, obviously you always look at the log, right? So there is a tinyproxy log, so what I'm doing is to show you the log and then look at that. When I do a refresh, is generating traffic to the other side. And do it again, like to news. So it's accessing what this web page is requesting for. Obviously I could do Google, and then it's talking to Google, and so on and so forth. Let me get back to that page. Here we go. Yeah, it's I agree. Okay, so yeah, you know how it works. So basically you could try the same thing. You could set up your own proxy server. You could rent a few VPNs around the world, and essentially you will have your own we call virtual private network, VPN. Basically all these commercial VPN servers to protect yourself around the world, they are all pretty much on the same ground, having proxy server around in different locations to help route your traffic around, and essentially the basic idea is like that. Hope that helps, and I would suggest you to try it out, and if you don't know and if it's too simple, you could leave some message to me and see if there's any particular need or advanced configuration that you want me to try out. I could try it out for you and show it to all. Enjoy your weekend. Cheers. Bye.